Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday media briefing for May 3rd, 2023, sorry. So let's start with Patsy Gasca from Red Cross to talk about what what's going on in the response from Red Cross.
Okay, hi, thank you. So for the Red Cross, we are currently continuing to support the sheltering operations at the fairgrounds and also help assisting with the food out at Pajaro Middle School and providing material support for the Monterey County responders and staff that's out here at the fairgrounds and at the middle school as well. We are also working with partner agencies to look at what other unmet needs may be in the community and help address those at this time.
Unless I don't see any messages yet. We'll take questions at the end. Thank you, Patsy. So next, let's go to Tiana. I hope I'm saying your name right. Tiana and Karixia from FEMA and give us an update.
Good afternoon. I'm seeing somebody else's screen. Hold on. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, now I went away. Now I don't know what happened to me. Okay, there I am. Okay. All right, it's a interesting day. Okay. Today, with individual households and program dollars approved, so far it's over $7 million. And we can you can get the exact numbers on FEMA.gov. Our DRC and Felton Library will be closing permanently on Friday. That'll be their last day, and they close at 5 o'clock. No word yet on when we'll have another one in that area. No word if we'll have another one in that area yet, but we'll keep you updated if another one opens up in the Santa Cruz area. And our DSA news, our DSA people, our disaster survivor assistance people, have been in the Chinatown area in Salinas at 21 Soledad Street, Unit B. And so far we've had some good news from there. We've helped out survivors, we helped them get registered, updated some applications, answered or closed some inquiries, and provided over 60 referrals for food, water, and clothing and shelter. Survivors are spreading the word and continue to line up for potential assistance in that area. A large percent of the survivors do not have their personal information like driver's license, birth certificate, social security number, and other things like that. And so our disaster survivor assistance teams have been referring them to the California State University alongside with the California Community Health to assist them in obtaining those essential documents. They've also been advertising those same items and giving the address and hours for the community-based resource center at the middle school. So that is what our disaster survivor assistance teams are doing at the moment. And just one quick note, I know that recently we put out a disaster unemployment assistance news release, and where I wanted to share a little bit about suggesting that when you do register for disaster unemployment, that you also register with FEMA. Disaster unemployment said it would be easier if they had a FEMA registration number, and it'll be an easy transition for them to apply for disaster unemployment assistance. I've been messing that word up today. And that is it for my update. And I can pass it to Karixia unless anybody has a question before then. Okay.
Thank you and good morning to everyone. Now I will say everything, the information that Tiana said in Spanish. Muy buenos días a todos. En FEMA continuamos brindando la ayuda para las personas sobrevivientes al desastre de las inundaciones en los 8 condados de California. Hasta el momento FEMA ha aprobado sobre $7 millones para la asistencia de los sobrevivientes del desastre. Más información sobre los datos que se continúan actualizando cada día, cada semana. Pueden entrar a la página web de FEMA, fema.gov, en el desastre número 4699. Allí podrán encontrar toda la información relacionada con los números y con todos los detalles también de los centros de asistencia por desastre que abren en los distintos condados, pero que también están ya cerrando sus operaciones, como es el caso del Centro de Asistencia por Desastre ubicado en la librería, en la biblioteca de Felton, en el condado de Santa Cruz, que cierra operaciones este viernes 5 de mayo. No obstante, si abriera otro centro de asistencia por desastre o se modifica cualquier servicio, horario o día de servicio de los que continúan en operación, se informará a la brevedad posible. Esta información también la pueden acceder en fema.gov. Como dato importante, se aprobó la asistencia de desempleo por desastre, así que FEMA junto con el condado, en este caso de Monterey, estamos trabajando en la asistencia de desempleo por desastre, y es muy importante que las personas que así hayan trabajado tiempo completo, tiempo parcial o por cualquier circunstancia relacionada al desastre hayan tenido cambios en su empleo o, ¿verdad?, alguna alteración en su empleo, pueden recibir la asistencia. Es muy importante y siempre es más fácil si ha pasado ya por el proceso de solicitud de asistencia de FEMA, pues para acceder a otras ayudas disponibles, ya que la información pues se puede compartir y se pueden obtener los datos de lo que es la situación de la persona. El equipo de FEMA que asiste a las personas, los que van puerta por puerta, ya han interactuado con 52 sobrevivientes, han registrado 35 y han atendido también solicitudes de información o actualización de información, especialmente en la calle Soledad número 21, en la unidad B, en Salinas, que recientemente el equipo de FEMA ha estado por esa área brindando asistencia y han tenido una buena recepción de las personas a las que han podido ayudar. Igualmente, personas que de repente han perdido su documentación personal, se ha referido a la Universidad del Estado de California y al Centro Comunitario de Salud de California, quienes están asistiendo a las personas para obtener sus documentos como licencia de conducir, certificado de nacimiento, tarjeta de número de seguro social, entre otra documentación importante que pudieran haber perdido las personas en el desastre. Pues hay asistencia para recuperar esa documentación tan importante que a la misma vez ayuda en estos procesos. Y se ha difundido información sobre toda la ayuda que se está brindando en la escuela intermedia de Monterrey, donde se está brindando también los servicios de primera necesidad y también con la asistencia de trabajar la documentación de las personas que hayan perdido sus datos. Esa es la actualización que tenemos hasta el momento. Es bien importante el Centro de Asistencia por Desastre, que cierra este viernes en la biblioteca de Felton en Santa Cruz, y de surgir cambios adicionales si abren o cierran nuevos centros, se informará con antelación para poder hacer los ajustes correspondientes. Igualmente pueden continuar los procesos a través de la línea de FEMA 1-800-621-3362 o a través de la aplicación de FEMA o a través de la página web fema.gov. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Let's move on to Marielli from SBA and to give us an update on what's happening with them. Thank you, Marielli.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Karen. You say my name correctly, so thank you so much. Well, in English, right? Because in Spanish is Marielli, but you get it. Thank you. Okay, so good morning, everyone. So I will say the information in English and then I will say that in Spanish as well, okay? Okay, so first of all, the information that I have here updated from SBA, let's see. Okay, here I get it. So we have to continue distributing the information about SBA disaster assistance because we have very good numbers from FEMA referrals. We have received more than 500, yeah, 500 SBA home applications referred from FEMA, and that is a very good number. But the situation here is that when we look at the numbers converting, that we just received 40 applications in our centers for Monterey County. And that means probably that people do not know how we can help them, or it could be they do not understand our program. So I will, well, I need you all, and I know you all have been very helpful for us, for the agency, but with the help of the media and you, the county, we maybe can reach more people of the community and explaining them that we can help them, right? With the disaster recovery. So for now, that'll be all. And in Spanish, en español, nosotros hemos recibido más de 500 referidos de parte de FEMA, lo cual es un muy buen número. Sin embargo, cuando vamos a convertir los números, solamente hemos recibido 40 solicitudes para la agencia de la SBA. Entonces, probablemente puede ser que la gente no esté entendiendo cómo nosotros les estemos ayudando o cómo le podamos ayudar en cuanto a la recuperación de desastres. Así que es importante que sigamos distribuyendo la información apropiadamente, utilizando obviamente los medios de comunicación como nos han ayudado hasta ahora. Así que se los agradezco. Igualmente el condado de Monterrey, que también nos han ayudado muchísimo en el proceso de distribución de información. Igualmente todos tienen mi información de contacto. Si tienen alguna pregunta o duda, me pueden contactar con mucho gusto. Thank you so much, Karen. That'll be all.
Thank you. It's an important service, and we need to make sure that everyone knows that it's more than just business. It's for community members.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So next, Tanya Kosta up from All In Monterey. Sounds like things are really happening and exciting stuff. You want to tell us all about it?
I would love to. Hello, everybody. Together with Gem Rotary, All In, and the community, we have a store filled with everything under the sun that our beautiful families would need, including diapers, wipes, cleaning products, hygiene items, and 98 pallets of household goods that came from Amazon through a collaboration between Gem and Rotary. We are doing our soft opening on Saturday. The first round of people that will be invited to our shop are the residents that are currently in shelter. We wanted to make sure that the people in the shelter didn't feel like they were missing out on something because their homes were not ready. So through the kindness of Community Bridges, they purchased 600 large bins, and we're going to allow those families to come in, shop for the items they want. We'll be storing, All In will be storing them so that they know when they're ready to go back into their homes or in another living space, they got to pick the items that they wanted. And, you know, I think that a lot of people were saying that we couldn't do this until their homes were ready. And I wanted to find a way to make sure that the people that are still in shelter felt a part of this. And, you know, the whole thing for me was removing the anxiety and the, I'm in a shelter. Everybody's going to get the things before I do. So that was what what came up from those conversations that we've had about how to absolutely support those that are most impacted at this time. We will be working with community organizations based in Pajaro, asking them to speak with the families that they are already familiar with, having a day that a community-based organization can host the shop, bring the families that they know, because we want it to be more than just a shop. We want it to be a place where people can go, they feel welcome, they feel supported, and allow us to learn more about what we can do in the coming months to continue helping them. Some of the items that we will need that we don't have right now, which will be updated on our most needed list, will be camals, tortilla presses, molcajetes, bed sheets. So please, everyone, continue to look at allinmonterey.org to find out the most needed items. Now that we've seen what's in there, we have items that I know from listening to our friends in Pajaro, some items that they listed that we don't have, and we'll continue to review the inventory and add items that we don't have. What else do I want to say? I just want to say thank you. Oh, I want to say this too. We are working on buses. We had to leave the warehouse we intended to use in Moss Landing. We found a place on Main Street in Salinas. And because of the, how far it is for the folks and the gas prices, we're arranging buses. So we are working with MST as well as the school districts to provide transportation to the families from a location in either Pajaro or Watsonville to come to Salinas. So I think, and if anybody else has, I've listened to the City of Salinas, the Department of Emergency Management, FEMA, Hope City, GEM, Rotary, and most importantly, the families that we're supporting. And I think we collaborated enough to have a plan that works for everyone. So I think that's it. If anybody has any, if families are not connected with an organization and they want to come in, they can email help at Monterey, allinmonterey.org. If people want to donate, they can email donate@allinmonterey.org. If people have questions, they can email me at Tanya at allinmonterey.org. So that's our plan.
It's amazing the amount of work and the end product. It's great for those who are moving back home and had lost everything. It's good to see more recovery and less response.
Yes, I love that. I didn't, I'm going to admit it. I didn't know much about the Pajaro community before this disaster. I'm grateful to the county for including All In to serve the community. And now that I've been around for a little over a month, learning about the people in Pajaro, they do have a big part of my heart. And I plan on opening branches of All In the Pajaro community for long-term support. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tanya.
Oh, Karen.
Helps. Yep. It helps if you unmute yourself. So up next is Krista Hanni to talk about the Community Resource Center and all the exciting happenings that are happening there.
Thank you, Karen. Wonderful to follow Tanya's great work and everybody else, of course, on the call. So I'm up here in Pajaro at the Pajaro Middle School, which is where there's been the hygiene hub, which has turned into a little bit of the resource hub. The Red Cross meals are still happening twice a day. There's the laundry and the showers as well. And then we have the resource tent, we've been going here with the tent and with the community-based organizations that are using the tent from April 17th. And we're here in part because, you know, trying to find space and being in Pajaro as much as possible is important, and finding space can be difficult when you're recovering from the flood impacts on the buildings that are here. So we've erected another tent here at the middle school, and that is the resource tent, and that's where the community-based organizations can be. And over the first 11 days, this goes through the 28th, we've had 305 families come to use the tent. The tent itself has had a flexible schedule. It's generally about 12 to 5, but with services, some service provided as early as 10 a.m. and some as late as about 6:30. Information is generally gathered from the individuals as they come to the tent. They can usually be, they're coming in often for the 11 o'clock or the 4 p.m. Times where the hot meals are being provided. And then they come over to talk about services. The families could have come back more than once. And so we weren't really collecting it as an unduplicated count when we're looking at what the service needs were. But the average family size was 4. The smallest would be a unit of 1, and the largest was about a unit of about 9 people. Spanish was the most commonly requested language and was 74% of those who came in. Followed by 20% being Mixteco, also a couple of the other indigenous languages, and English making up the remainder. There were a variety of themes, essentially categories that were requested, but they could be sort of grouped into some general categories. I have I'll share my screen. This is preliminary. This is just, again, from some of the data over that 11-day period. But about 434 different services were requested, but those are, again, can be sort of categorized. We did have about just over 10 organizations rotating through, some here on different days, supporting each other. Liberty Rising was here offering integrative healthcare for 3 days, and that's why massage is up there for a number. But a number of the people that came in got their full suite of services that they were offering. And so they might have gotten 3 different services from Liberty Rising. CalFresh was really important. And that was during the disaster CalFresh open period. The basic needs category really also was important. Shoes, diapers, shampoo, as you can hear from Tanya, that's still an important resource that we are working to try to get out to members of the community. Some people were just coming in and asking for all help, any assistance, toda ayuda. So we're there to try to help and connect them with services, whether they're here or whether they're with another organization that isn't here on that day, but getting them connected with sort of a warm handoff and phone numbers for that. 50% of the people were finding out about the tent through word of mouth and friends, family, and or seeing the tent as they walked by. And generally, most of the people using the tent were coming from all over Pajaro. A few were coming from outside of the community. And as we know, many people have been impacted by the storms and the floods. And we were connecting those people with services as well. But the majority were coming from Pajaro. I can take any other questions about the tent. And I should say that we're continuing through Friday of this week. The organizations were looking at if the tent might be usable by them for any workshops they want to hold next week. There may be some point of collection for individuals for some of those items that Tanya's talking about. And just so we have the tent for 1 more week. It's been a great tool to have in the community, and we're grateful that the community has been welcoming us with open arms, and it's wonderful to meet so many of the residents and to be there to support them through what's been a very difficult time for them, and to support their resiliency in the building up of the community going forward.
Thank you, Krista. And then last, but certainly not least, Laura Emmons, to talk about the non-congregate temporary housing program. Laura.
Hi, good afternoon. So we are working to stand up our non-congregate shelter program. It is a very temporary shelter program We are currently taking applications at the Pajaro Park for the program, which will connect those who've been impacted by flooding with a hotel room for temporary shelter for 21 days. And we will be taking those applications through Thursday. So those who were residents who were impacted by flooding in generally North County, if they were impacted by flooding, are eligible to apply to the program. And I'm happy to take questions, but that's, I think, all I have.
It helps
Karen,
you to
okay.
unmute. So the question is from Adriana Frederick. How many families are registered for temporary housing and how many are available?
Thank you for that question. So just to be really clear, this is, not temporary housing. It is just temporary sheltering, really an extension of our current congregate shelter operation, just to, expand, what options may be available. So in terms of our temporary sheltering, I think we have received somewhere between 50 to 100 applications so far. And I think we're still working, on figuring out exactly how many, hotels may be available. So that's still a moving target, but we have secured, several dozen hotel rooms as of now, and are, continuing to see what we can do to, expand our capacity.
Oh, thank you, Laura. See if I don't see any other questions. Does anyone else have any other questions? We'll give it a minute. Hearing none, I will give you the rest of the hour back. Thank you again for attending this Wednesday afternoon briefing, and we will see you next week.